To the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, that the city of Smithfield will conduct a special called meeting on January 27, 2026 at 5:30 in the council chambers of City Hall, 317 Main Street, Smithfield, Texas. Call this meeting to order. Do we have anyone that needs to speak about the tax notes? Does anybody needs money? Not today? Okay. Moving on, we're going to jump to number 4. A public hearing on an easement agreement with LCRA to use 100 foot by 100 foot of parkland at Caldwell Park for self-supporting communication tower for LCRA LTE communication network. We have received some emails that we've all been shared, correct? We have some emails that's been shared and acknowledge that everybody has read them? Or what do we need to do?
Mayor, we've gotten several emails that I've been handed personally this afternoon, but due to the technical issues we had with the city email system today, so I don't know if we've actually had enough time to read through those. So I may be moving later on the issue of the vote, but certainly we need to have the hearing. I'm acknowledging receipt, but I haven't had the chance to digest it, of those emails that we weren't able to get today because of the technical issues with our email system.
So what are you suggesting we do?
Well, we need to have the hearing, my understanding.
So has anybody signed up to speak? Come on, Jenny, introduce yourself.
Mayor, if I may, with Jenny Bush specifically, she is one of the ones that sent the emails. Perfect.
And you did get one? You did get it? So I don't have to go over that. Okay.
We
That's
received
when
an
I
email.
was really cranky.
You did what?
I was very cranky.
Frankie?
Cranky.
Oh, Frankie.
No, don't start with the time yet, for Pete's sake. I wanted to speak on 4 and 5, so I'll be glad to take 6 minutes. All right, anyway. I live on the hill, okay? And I don't know why I didn't know about this. I mean, I cannot believe I didn't know about this when I know all of you and I see you all at the time. So I'm a little concerned that why you've made your decisions are based on your needs and not mine. Mine are more important than the business of the city. My sanity, my health is more important than whether you get $75,000 to use parkland. That really is not a reason for, letting LCRA put something up there. I don't think what I've understood is that LCRA that tower is benefiting us personally as a resident. I believe it's taking care of their business. And I know I don't ask questions here, but that's where my premise is coming from, that this is up there for their benefit and they're using that space because you said yes. And I think we shouldn't say yes. I think they should go somewhere else. Like, what about the hill over there by the school? Or what over there, that whole area up there on 153 by Buford State Park? That's higher than us. They could do their tower up there. Why do they have to put it in my back door? I'm a proponent of health, and there's other emails you either will get or have about the health issues of putting EMF radiation in the neighborhoods. Go out away from my home. Do not be there. I also am kind of ticked off that I don't really think that the citizens have inputted, at least all the people I know who are health conscious have not stated that they've been involved with this, and they're concerned, and we think that you're making a decision based on the benefits to the financial benefit of the city, but not us. And I can come up with a better solution for you to get your $75,000. We'll put up a GoFundMe account saying, save Smithville. We might get more than $75,000. Let's take care of our health. And I don't think you should have written up a resolution without consulting the Queen of the Hill. That's just the way it is. Sorry if I'm upset, but I am. I don't want that damn thing there.
Thank you. Next I have Donna T. Welcome. Will you state your name and where you live, please?
Hello, I'm Donna Ting. It was tough for me to come out here today. I wanted to make my point in my focus today on being farsighted. Too often time, our society has been focused on immediate needs without looking at the long-term consequences. And I feel like this is important enough on this building, this tower is one of them. I came to Texas in the early 90s. And if y'all remember, I live in Austin. And one of the issue that came up was those tanks, toxic tanks they put in East Austin. As a social worker, one of the things I did when I first came to UT was to go visit East Austin. When I heard today that they're putting a tower that's producing EMF on the hill, I immediately texted some friends who live on the hill. I don't live on the hill. So maybe you think, well, she doesn't have any, thing in this fight. But to me, this has everything to do with so many things down the line. One of the things that I feel like I didn't need to come here is because what's the point? You guys probably already decided what you're going to do anyway. Somebody's getting benefited from this, getting paid off to do this. I know how politics works. I mean, I work at the government for years. I know a lot of times these decisions have already been made before these meetings are even taking place. But listen, when you do that, you may think you won. But in the long term, think about all your neighbors, your friends who are getting cancer. There's no doubt cancer rates has been increasing. Alzheimer's, brain tumor, all kinds of things have been increasing. Anybody doubt that? Go Google it. What's causing it? Things in our environment. The food that we're eating, you already know people have money, get pesticides put in our food, and we're trying to change that. But look at this stuff. Cell phones, one of them. What do you do when we say, oh, okay, we'll pay those pink organizations money to fix the cancer? No, the answer is not in somebody else. The answer is with us. The solution's with us. This is your kids, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, their friends, their neighbors, when they're having to go through grief, losing somebody, dealing with chemo, radiation, all that stuff. How would you feel? Is it worth it? Is there options? Is this the only place we can put it? I ask you today to look at long-term instead of short-term immediate gratification. Thank you.
Mayor's
Thank you.
statement of fact, please, for clarification. I want to assure the public and the speaker that no decision has been made regarding this going forward. To my knowledge, none of us would benefit either way. So I just want to make sure that y'all understand, this council is committed to being transparent. We will make our decisions in front of you, and no decision has been made on this. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Did anybody else sign up to speak?
Mitch is going to read it. She doesn't feel comfortable reading.
Which one? With all due respect, it would be better if someone else read it, please. Thank you.
No, I'm fine. Do you have it?
He's got the copy. We were supposed to give everybody a copy.
Do I have one?
Okay. This is what I was referring to about the health aspects of this kind of decision. As a healthcare professional, this is coming from Debbie Etheridge. She couldn't be here tonight. She's a healthcare professional with she's concerned about the negative EMF effects on her patients. I am writing to voice my absolute opposition to the proposed communication tower on the hill. This neighborhood is being used as a utility dumping ground. First with the brush dump and the relentless truck traffic, and now with a proposal that threatens the biological safety of our residents. Selling our community's long-term health for a mere $75,000 is not a deal. It's a catastrophic oversight. The biological realities of EMF exposure in residential areas are being ignored because there's a growing body of scientific concern regarding non-ionizing radiation. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about radio frequency radiation. It's got risks to children, and these are not small adults. Their skulls are thinner, their nervous systems are still developing, making them significantly more vulnerable to EMF penetration. Proximity to these towers has been linked in various studies to develop disruptions and increase cellular stress. Adult health and chronic exposure. For adults who get 24/7 exposure to high frequency EMFs, like they call it the microwave syndrome, it's characterized by insomnia, headaches, and neurological fatigue. The opt-out red flag. The state of Texas provides an opt-out clause for a reason. These are legal shields designed to protect providers and cities from liability when the long-term health consequences of these destructive appliances inevitably manifest. By signing this resolution, which I'm surprised that you've already got prepared, it looks like you're ready to go, you are signing away our right to a healthy environment. There's negligence and there's lack of transparency. It is insulting that this project reached the resolution stage before the community, and I'm talking about just, the regular guy, was properly informed. Using a special called meeting buried in an obscure posting is not public engagement. It is an attempt to bypass the people who will actually have to live and suffer under this tower. It's me, I'm over there. There are alternative locations with high elevation that do not sit directly atop a residential neighborhood. The call to action. We think that these public organization funding, the LCRA is looking for, she has in here suckers, who will prioritize a small one-time payment over the lifetime health of their citizens. And it's not just a lifetime, it's generational, because 50 years is a long time. Anyway, do you guys have
Yes,
the
we,
rest of this? I just
Yes,
want,
we do.
it's good to put this on record.
yes, ma'am, thank you.
Mayor, statement of fact on this.
Go ahead.
Just for everyone's knowledge, I guess, this was actually put on the regularly scheduled city council meeting earlier in January. And through that, it was discovered that parkland cannot be, nothing can happen with parkland for private or commercial use without public hearings. And so that is why this public hearing has come about, is because it was previously on the previous city council and things were learned so that y'all could speak up and have the moment to talk about it.
Yes, it was on the January agenda. And then you posted it in paper and all the things. Correct.
Jennifer,
Okay.
would you be willing to walk through the process of what you were required to do in terms of posting?
So for the posting, I had to run it in the most circulated newspaper of the city, which is the Bastrop Advertiser, for 3 consecutive weeks. That said when we were going to have our public hearing, and then it gave the notice so that they could come and sign up to speak. And it's also on the Austin American Statesman online. You can go to legal ads, and that's for any of our postings. You can search Smithville as well.
You had your time to speak, so I guess so. What you get? Well, you have to come up and.
I'm sure y'all know that we moved away from newspaper. So to me, that still doesn't allow us to have access to it. I don't have Austin paper. I don't have Smithville paper.
The January agenda, and then at the city council meeting, we were informed by our lawyer, so we took the proper steps to inform everyone. If you have a better way of communicating, we're always open for, to make.
Yes, I like to make a suggestion. And there's a Smithville Connection page that most of you guys are on probably, that make announcement on things like this. I did you guys the favor to put it on there just to make sure people are aware of it. But we need to have access because anything that's positive, you guys know, you guys are out there broadcasting it and making sure everybody knows it. But this was nothing that we hear about. Yes, you may post it somewhere that's kind of obscure. We don't see it. That doesn't help us. If you want to make it public, put it somewhere where people are going to be, it's going to be visible.
Okay, thank you.
I think we also need to mention, Bill Rodman, we also need to mention that it is not going to be. long.
After you speak, will you sign a piece of paper just?
Absolutely.
Thank
Bill
you.
Rodwick with my wife, Jan, 807 Mill Street. I think we're forgetting the other mechanism that's in place as far as letting the public know about what is going on. It's on the Smithville site. It's very easy to access. It pops up. It tells you, you can even select an option, if I'm not mistaken, where you can receive emails as far as upcoming meetings, emergencies, telephone calls, whatever you want. So yes, I agree that the newspaper is pretty much dead. But you've got a vehicle right there that is being used, and I think being used very well. Thank you.
That function on the city website is called Notify Me.
Yes.
If you would sign up for Notify Me, you would get notifications automatically of all meetings that have been called and issues. The agendas are always posted.
72, a lot of
Yeah.
hours.
We put preliminaries out 5 to 7 days ahead. So we're acutely aware of the changing dynamics and our ability to communicate with the public. There is no one place to go. If we could drive everybody to the city website and get them to sign up for Notify Me, it would help. So please tell your friends to sign up for Notify Me. There is in no way any attempt to hide anything from the public. You call the city and they'll walk you through how to do it. We also have a fledgling digital newspaper in town that does a good job of covering these things. So we operate in a space of transparency to the best efforts that we can. I promise you, this council sitting up here is not trying to hide anything.
No, and thank you for bringing that to our attention. Do y'all want to add anything? Okay, so we're having the public hearing. So are we gonna make a motion or what are we going to do?
Yeah, we have to close the public and go into the closed.
I close the public hearing and I go back into the open meeting?
Yeah.
I'm going back into the open meeting. Close the public hearing, going back into the open meeting. Discussion and action on the resolution for a change in parkland use for LCRA agreement for self-supporting communication tower for only 100-foot by 100-foot area. Anybody signed up to speak?
All right, I'm Jenny Bush, 204th Avenue, Queen of the Hill. I'm not sure what we're doing here. A public hearing is totally different than public comments, I think. But I want to make a comment that I am going to speak specifically to the resolution that was written and ready to be signed tonight. So the resolution contains multiple findings that I don't know and have not been communicated to that were supported by facts presented to the public. You may have made all these announcements, but what are the facts that you have made your decisions on or are going to make your decisions on? So it starts there that there were city council meetings which were where you made the announcement and where the public was heard. Well, this is the public that's being heard meeting? Well, we haven't got the facts on the other side from you guys. I hope we're going to get that before we're over here. Second, the resolution states that this site is the only reasonable and viable location and that no feasible or prudent alternatives exist. That's written in the resolution. I speak for everybody, and I think that might be a false statement. I'm going to ask you to fix that. And then the resolution, third, the resolution permanently changes the use of Keelberg Park from parkland to any authorized municipal purpose with no limitation. I need that clarified. And fourth, the resolution claims all reasonable planning to minimize harm to the park has been performed. I don't know that because I have not been given that information. There's been no cumulative neighborhood impact study, no health concerns evaluated, and there have been precedents set forth on this kind of structure, and we need to know the details. And then the resolution claims that in the best interest of the general public, I am part of the general public now, my neighbors are part of the general public, and we are telling you on the record that this is not in our best interest. So I am formally requesting that this resolution not be adopted tonight and that the city pause this action until alternative sites are publicly evaluated, health and neighborhood impacts are addressed, and residents are given meaningful notice and opportunity to participate. You put a notice on my fence that you were turning the water or electricity off, I want one of those notices. Thank you. Passing a resolution with unsupported findings exposes the city to future challenges, and you could do this differently.
Mayor, question, is it possible, I believe we have this in display, is it possible to go back over this, whether you or Edward, to explain the site selection, because there were multiple sites that were provided, and then why we got to a certain site and all that kind of stuff?
As far as the sites, I don't think that Edward has a lot on that, but I do know that there were, and I don't think we can bring it on the screen, or can we?
If I may make a suggestion, why don't we go back? Why don't we just pause this? Let's call the man in from LCRA, the one that's going to build the towers. Let's get the site locations up. Let's have another meeting at the city council, and let's bring all the interested parties in here. They can answer questions. They can also bring all this together. I don't think delaying it one time is going to make that big a difference. So we just move it to the next city council meeting in February.
I agree with that. I feel like we need to present the information being requested again and clearly before any decisions are made.
Motion to table it?
Well, before that motion, Mayor, I just wanted to make sure that, and to clarify for those of you, it's not easy to understand our processes, and we're required to have a public hearing legally, which is what we're doing right now. Then when we come out of the public hearing and close the public hearing, we go into open meeting, which is where we are at this point. Now we can talk about it. So we can't answer questions when people are making comments during the public hearing, but in open meeting, we can now have discussion and possible action. So the action that it seems like we're about to take is to postpone a decision on this so we can bring in the pertinent parties to answer more questions for you. So certainly I have no opposition to postponing this vote. I just wanted everyone to understand, we're listening to you. I promise. This is a result of us listening to you.
The only thing that I would like to do before is just for the people that are here, and so they don't feel like we're just kicking the can down the road to the next meeting when they're not here. If we have our understanding of what this map is that Jennifer just had pulled up, just so that they can understand, much to Ms. Bush's comments, that we have been presented all this information, but clearly that information hasn't been explained very well or gotten out. And so I am not against your motion at all, Jimmy, that you're prepared to make, but I think even just giving a Cliff Notes version of what we do know and why we've got to this point and why other sites were still or eliminated, just purely for the sake of transparency.
I think, and I understand that, but I think I would rather let the contractor for LCRA come in and give all that information, because any questions they have, he's going to have the answer to. We may not have the answer to that. I don't want to go over it twice. I would rather just postpone this and move forward.
If we could pose some of these questions to LCRA so they come prepared to explain some of these issues more clearly, so they come prepared, if we can have that conversation with them.
Yes, if you will just prepare your questions, send them either to the city councilman or the city manager. We will get that information to the people from LCRA, so all questions can get answered at that time. They are the ones that will make it that will to make it clear, tell you what they think. You may still have your own opinion. I'm not trying to change your opinion. What I am trying to do is make sure that everybody has a clear picture of what's going on.
Okay,
Go ahead.
and then, so we're going to table number 5.
May I ask one more question of Counselor Dunham? Just because you had mentioned, and I'm sure that people heard that, you said that there was a finding made on whether or not parkland can be used.
There was, I mean, the verbiage is in the disclosure, like what has to be done, where multiple sites had to be selected, and there has to be no clear alternative to that, is my understanding. And so that's why I kind of wanted to talk about, like, it's not just like, oh, we chose something on the map. Like, there's a lot of things that have happened. I think that my personal is that in the last meeting I've discussed, I'm opposed to this particular one because of the FAA flight path and also personal use of parkland. I just don't agree with. But that is for the entire council to decide.
Would you like a motion, Mayor?
To table it?
I'm just going to make a motion that we move this resolution and a session and into the next city council meeting in February. I make a motion that we move the resolution from voting or anything tonight, table it and have it at the next city council meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Councilman Dedham?
Was that for just 5 or 5 and 6?
That's just for what we're on right now for the
5, and
resolution.
I think we have to do number 6.
Yes to tabling.
To yes to table, Kathy,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
All right, so that one is tabled, and now we go to number 6. Discussion and action on easement agreement with LCRA to use 100-foot by 100-foot of parkland at Kalberg Park for a self-supporting communication tower for LCRA's LTE communication network.
Okay, out of all the deliberations that you're discussing up here and have had happen and are going to happen, when do we get to really, as the public, get to ask questions? Like, my question is, that has not been answered, is why do we have to do this in the first place? Why is City of Smithville want to put up an LCRA pad? Because I'm going to assume, unless you tell me different, because you want $75,000. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's hurting me more than $75,000 is going to help the city. I seriously will do a GoFundMe account for you poor city council budget and get you, what, $200,000? Would that be better? Come on, you guys. We don't need to do this just because the LCRI has come in here and offered us poor little city of Smithville people $75,000. Why do we have to do it? Why can't you do it somewhere else? And how do I get that question answered? You guys are talking about this public discussion. It's not a discussion. It's just me yapping and you ignoring me. How do we do that?
No one's ignoring you.
I won't let you.
Mayor, if I may respond to that. We are listening to what has been said tonight. We have already tabled discussion or postponed discussion on item 5. I'm guessing we're going to postpone discussion on item 6. We will commit to getting out to the public all of the information that has been requested. Give the 30 days between now and the next meeting for the public to prepare. Redouble our efforts to get the communication and the information out to the public again. And then when we reconvene to address this in the next council meeting, bring your questions. Better email us your questions now.
Yeah.
And then we'll be prepared to answer
Email
your
us your
questions then.
questions and we'll get that, we'll go forward from there.
But can I get a question? Yeah, I've been asked to refer to the emails that you may or may not have received. Are they going to be responded to in this?
We'll fix that.
And
Will
what's,
be responded to with all of the questions that we do before we get to the next meeting. We're going to get all of them in so we can get all of the questions responded to at that, before that meeting, and then you can come and ask other things that you need.
and can I get a question answered tonight? Why are we entertaining this at all? Is it because of the money?
It is not because of money. This is, look, we have local partners we work with. The city is committed to working with. LCRA is one of them because they do great things for this city. They partner and everything. If you'll let me speak.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, yeah, you are. You're making faces and fun. Okay, I understand where you're at. But we are going to postpone this, and that's where we are. There will be no answers done tonight.
Wonderful. That's all goes on public record, how cooperative we are. We will work well together, I see.
Thank you.
I think
Give me a-
anecdotally, I personally know of one cell phone tower on a piece of property that I'm familiar with, that they receive $25,000 per year. I understand this is not a cell phone tower, but the entire time this has been brought up, I understand LCRA does a lot for our community. They contribute, they donate a lot as well too, but keep in mind that number that I'm quoting is in an urban area, so there's going to be more value for that tower. But at the same time, comparing $25,000 a year versus $75,000 for 50 years, I would ask if we are going to consider giving up parkland, if that is a fair number.
I'm not, at this point, there were other options, and maybe we find another option that will be a little more palatable and a place where it's not, I mean, you know, there was the cemetery that they were talking about. Okay, there may be that. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm all for that. I want to make sure that we get all the questions in and they get answered. Okay, we get to the next meeting, we can have discussion all over again. So I'm ready to go that way.
Absolutely.
So I make a motion that we table number 6, just action on an easement agreement with LCRA to use 100 by 100 of parkland at Coburg Park for a self-supporting communication tower for LCRA's LTE communication network.
I second that motion.
A motion's been made and second. Councilman Dunham,
Yes.
Meeks.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
So both of these are tabled. We're going to go into executive session now
I think
for the.
Who needs to
Number two.
do that, number 30?
No, Mayor, I think there was going to be a public presentation and then afterwards would be an executive session for a
So that-
small facet of that topic.
So we're back to item 3.
So just go back in the presentation and then go into, okay. Discussion and action on the sewer plant upgrade project with ESG and reuse.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim Johnston with Energy Systems Group. I'm based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Beginning of September of last year, you all had awarded us a project development agreement to start working on the wastewater treatment project expansion and a few other infrastructure upgrades that the city of Smithville needs to be able to continue growth, expansion, and for the betterment of for the public. In that time, roughly 90 to 95 days, of which a lot of it was taken up with Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and everything else. It's amazing the schedule wrangling that you have to do. We put together some very, very specific direction for the city to be able to address some of the existing needs in a very cost-effective format. In the past 90 days, we have looked at everything holistically, looked at all the different plants, or looked at the 2 different plants, looked at your lift stations and a few other items that have been brought up. And we've brought our collective group together multiple times, both with the city and then internally as well, and come up with some very well thought out, impactful approaches that we can execute for the city of Smithville. We plan to be able to deliver full proposal, full pricing, financials, project timelines, everything else. Going to work with Mr. Frazier, but we are looking at March 9th for the city council meeting to do that in a public fashion, to go through for full transparency for everybody that would like to attend. What that actually looks like, what are the benefits to the city? How long is that going to take? And then answer any sort of questions that anyone has to make sure that everybody's essentially pulling the rope in the same direction. I know that's a little bit of a high level overview. Honestly, to give you all, give the public and the council a little bit of a heads up, we are planning on making this a revenue neutral project. We are not here to ask for public funds. We are not here to raise rates, ask the city to come out and take a lot of debt. The way we're approaching this project is to do revenue generation through a very creative mechanism that satisfies not only a public need, but also a private need as well. We'll be discussing that a little bit later, but when we go up in front of the public in March, we are going to lay that entire plan out for full public scrutiny. So these are problems that needed to be fixed a while ago. We're looking forward to being able to solve them for you now and make sure everybody's in alignment with it. So, and also to be able to continue the growth of Smithville, because you guys have a lot of opportunity coming up. We need to make sure that essentially the faucets run and the toilets flush. It is a good thing. So essentially, I guess for brevity, I'm going to essentially stop my comments now. We'll talk a little bit later, but if anybody has any questions, we've been setting up bi-weekly meetings for essentially our design team, our project execution team. If you all would like to attend those, more than welcome to. Creative comments are always welcome. It's always good to get ahead of any sort of potential issues before the die is cast. So, but we appreciate the partnership and look forward to executing this project with you. So, thank you.
I don't know if
At this point, we're going to go into a closed meeting. The city council will hold an executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Government Code, in accordance with the authority contained in Section 551-0761, Critical Infrastructure, and Section 551-089, Security regarding critical infrastructure. We'll be back. Time is 6:09. All right, call it back to order at 7:29, and the outcome of the executive. What happened? We have a quorum. The outcome of the meeting is no action taken. I said it, 7:29. 7:29, back to order. Executive meeting, no action taken, meeting is adjourned.